All right, Shalom. I'm going to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bashim Yahushua, Bashim Kakadash. Double honors to the apostles of GMS and the sincere Shalom to the brothers out here pushing this truth and sincerity. And I want to go into a lesson basically going into that we, to be a teacher, we as teachers, we serve the ones that want to learn this truth. And we reject those who don't want to get it. Because the whole point of, to be even humble in this truth, you even serve your brothers as well as we serve, like you serve the Lord. I mean, it's part of being a brother. Like you show that with the people that wants to learn, you show them that yeah, we're here to serve you this truth. Like even like a waiter, a waiter or waitress. Well, we're waiters, but just to give you an idea, even the waitress in the restaurants, they serve the food, and we as waiters, we're serving this truth to those who really wants to get this truth, because that's the importance of our job. We're trying to wake up the elect, and we don't know who that really is. We don't know if any of us is the elect, but the Lord is going to seal that elect. It's just with this job, we have to continually keep pushing that. But for these people that don't want to get it, this is Jeremiah 11:14. It says, "Therefore pray not thou for this people, neither lift up a cry or prayer for them, for I will not hear them in the time that I cry unto for they it's like in the time that they cry unto me for their trouble." Because for you guys that didn't want to get it, then you still be it. That goes for you guys that came into the truth and left. You refuse to keep the mantle going. You refuse to keep that fire going. And ultimately you just have to receive the fate. But our job as teachers is to go out and do the Lord's job, to do the Lord's work, and that's to serve the people that wants to understand, that wants to sincerely learn this truth under the name of the Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. This is Acts 5:29. It says, "Then Peter and the other apostles answered and said, we ought to obey Yahweh rather than men." Now, back a couple years ago, this was the tongue twister for a lot of guys that think that Yahweh Shah is just going to beam down into these people's minds and say, oh, okay, this is what you're supposed to do. This, and that. No. This is, we have teachers that are set up under Yahweh Shah. And we're also teachers. This truth wouldn't get out if it wasn't for the Lord setting men up to push his truth. Through whether that's, and even that's with the cameras and people taking pictures of us, we're like, go ahead, take pictures of us, because that's just further showing other people, okay, the Israelites are a thing, and that may wake up somebody. But it says we ought to obey Yahweh rather than men, and that's obeying Yahweh is doing His commandments, His work, praying to Him, and then the Spirit of the Lord puts, then the Lord puts the Spirit on the men to do what He wants them to do. The reason why it says we ought to obey Yahweh rather than men is the really the 2/3, or even to someone that's not of this truth, that wants to make up any random philosophy or some type of madness that they want to go into. That's why it says we ought to obey Yahweh rather than men, because men can lead you astray. Yes, that's true. We're in this flesh, but being spiritual in this truth being a spiritual man in this truth is totally different. And that's why, as spiritual men, the Lord's telling to give us the Spirit to go out there and do his bidding, so we can wake up his elect. His elect, not ours, his elect. That's how much more important this is, because we out there to go set out to wake up his elect. We don't know who that is. How the Lord can put the spirit on a God that came into the truth that's wicked to wake someone up in the world. And he could be more of the elect than that wicked guy is. And the guy that's wicked don't even know he's being wicked. So that's how scary this truth really is. That's how much more far we gotta be as far as the truth and prayer about this truth, because that's you never know when you're gonna slip, because that's the whole point of being in this fleshly bodies. So to get on with the point, this is Matthew 22:9. It says, "Go ye therefore into the highways, and as many as ye shall find, bid to the marriage." Which means we gotta get the Lord's kicking our butts out there into the belly of the beast to wake up his elect. This is why we're out there doing what we're doing. We ain't out there just to wake up every black man, woman, and child. Wake up a bunch of niggas that ain't gonna get it. Because if that was the case, every black man, woman, and child would have it. But the child don't really fully understand the truth. And then waking up black people, you can hang that up. Because we go to the extent that it's more than just black people. You got the whole 12 tribe sign out here. We gotta do the Lord's bidding to waking up all those 12 tribe signs for the elect of them. So when you go into that word bid, and I got it right here, the definition of bid, it says to offer a price, whether for payment or acceptance. Now we're offering this truth for whether of payment or acceptance. We're offering this truth to see if they're going to accept this truth, or they want that payment of salvation. Usually used in the phrase to bid defiance, to issue an order to request to come, to give expression to. So as we can clearly see, that this word bid has a very powerful meaning for it to even be in that sentence of the scripture, because it says bid to the marriage, bid to the coming together of brothers that we may not know of who's the elect, but they're to do a particular job unto the Lord. The bid that person that's trying to learn to come into the marriage unto the Lord, so that that person that may seek his salvation, his also her salvation through, of course, if it's a woman, it's through the man, but it's just the simple fact that you ain't getting your salvation if you're not in this thing for the right reason. And we reject those kind. We reject anyone that's not coming that wants to come into the will and manner of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. We serve those who really wants to learn this truth. That's why we bid them into the marriage. We try to offer something that catches their eye, and this truth catches their eye, especially in a rightful manner, instead of a wicked one, but in a more rightful manner, then it's going to gravitate to them. They're gonna bid to that marriage. So that's pretty much all I wanted to go into, and Lord willing, this was edifying, because we as teachers have a purpose, and it's unto the Lord that we get that purpose across. Because this is we, like I said, we're only here to serve, ultimately wake up the elect of the Lord's chosen. So, what one? Like I said, was this was edifying, and with that, shalom.